Welcome to TE Live to hear about this amazing opportunity to work as a nurse through a training program in Päijät-Häme, Finland. Our guests today are HR specialist Kristiina Laakso-Halinen and registered nurse Maiju Clearwater from Wellbeing Services County of Päijät-Häme and Global Head of UX and Talent Mobility Kristiina Melvola-Jorka Karakos from BBI. Remember that you can send us questions via chat throughout this whole broadcast. But without further ado, welcome to TE Live, Kirsi.
Thank you.
You offer a unique opportunity for international registered nurses to come to work to Finland via a training program. Can you tell more about this program?
Sure. So this training program, it's a comprehensive language and intercultural communications program, and it's specifically designed for nurses who have been recruited to work at Päijät-Häme. So the core of the program is Finnish language, but we also cover topics such as living and working in Finland, the Finnish healthcare culture, and respective legal environment, communication in multicultural setting, etc. The aim of the program is to ensure that you would have the language required in order to receive your license to practice as a nurse in Finland as soon as possible after your arrival. And this means that the target is B1 level of Finnish language in approximately 7 months. So it's not an easy task, but it is definitely doable. And while at it, you will also receive a lot of information about healthcare, how it is structured in Finland, what kind of things are related to the collaborative agreements regarding your work agreements, and what laws and regulations would you need to understand prior to starting work.
And when does this training program start?
So at the moment, the training program is planned to start between the 4th and the 11th of December, but the exact date and time depends on how quickly we are able to carry out all the interviews and make selections. We have already received around 100 applications, so yay. And the interviews are ongoing, but we would still like to see many more applications since there are plenty of positions to fill. The interviews will continue until the end of this month.
All right. That is great to hear. So one needs to be a registered nurse. Are there any other requirements?
Well, one would need to be a registered nurse in an EU country, and their education would need to be from an official educational institution within an EU country. And this is normally equivalent to a bachelor's degree. The degree would need to be recognized under the directive, so the 2005/36/EC of the European Parliament and the Council in regards to the recognition of professional qualifications. And in addition to this, the employer, so you're going to be speaking with the employer soon, would like the recruited nurses to be able to speak at least intermediate English. So not fluent, intermediate is enough, and have a few years of previous work experience. You would need to be able to show a clean criminal record as well as a clean certificate of good standing. And for the last 2 documents, we will advise how to apply for those once you have entered the process.
Sure. What about then the support? Is there some special support that you offer to the students during the course or program?
Well, we support throughout all the steps of the process, and there is a clearly defined timeline. So in the beginning, during our pre-screening interview, we will go through all the support we will give you and your spouse, as well as your children, should you have any. We will give you examples of personal taxation and living costs prior to you committing even to the employer interview. So you will have a lot of information. We will also brief you about the European Targeted Mobility Scheme support funding available to you and your family. And during the process, we will assist in all the steps necessary to ensure smooth landing in Finland.
What about then the application process? How does that start and how does it go forward?
Well, like mentioned, we are now receiving applications and already have carried out tens of pre-screening interviews. First, we would like to receive your application. So that's where we start from. And if we see that your degree is a match, we will ask you to do an online English language test to see where your English skills are. And after this, we will book a time for your pre-screening interview, which is more like a chat about your wishes and hopes for your future. And during that, we will also be explaining what the process is in detail and what it means to go through it. We will also try to match you from the positions open. So we are going to be asking like, okay, where would you like to work? What kind of work would you like to do? Since there are positions open in several wards, and all of these positions have a bit different job descriptions. And once this is done successfully and you have confirmed that you understand the process and you agree to go forwards, only then you will be invited to the interview with the employer. So, and if after this employer interview, the decision is positive, then you would be enrolled to the training program and you can start the orientation.
What would be your advice to the applicants in terms of like what they will be writing to the application? So what do you like to see there?
Well, we would love to see your exact degree title and from which educational institution and in which country and when have you done this. We would also love to hear why you have applied to work in Finland and more about your skills and previous work experience. It would be great if your CV would be in English already, but if you have it all ready to go in Spanish, in Greek, or in Swedish, don't hesitate to apply with those. In these cases, we will ask the English language CV later on. So we have people that speak different languages, and you will also have the opportunity to have the pre-screening interview in your native language, provided that our matchmakers are speaking these languages.
Any grades that you would like to send to the applicants?
Well, we are really looking forward to seeing your applications. We are already filling out positions. So in order to get the best selection of the opportunities available, just apply. And we will guide you through the process step by step. So not to worry and take it easy.
Thank you so much for this nice interview.
Thank you.
And next we're going to take a short look at how does the taxation look like in Finland. So we have a progressive taxation, and from your income there will be deductions made. So there will be the tax rate taken, pensions insurance and unemployment insurance. And where does this tax money go to? So it goes to free education, public health care and infrastructure. But next we're going to have our next guest here in TV Live. So welcome, Kristiina.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. Well, like we were talking about the education program, but what about like who are you looking for through this program?
So we're looking for 25 registered nurses and 2 radiographers.
Yes.
And 2 radiographers and 15 of those nurses are going to Central Hospital in Päijät-Häme, here in Lahti.
Yes.
And the 10 nurses are going to our health and well-being centers, primary care units.
Yes.
Here in Lahti, Hollola and Orimattila.
Yes. And what kind of shifts are there available?
It depends on the unit where you're working. So it might be from the morning shift, evening shift or the night shift.
Yes. Can you make wishes like to these shifts?
Of course.
Yes. And of course the salary interest. So how much like do you pay like during the training period and then afterwards?
During the training period, before they get their licensing here in Finland, they are working as a care assistant. And the salary is around 2,000 euros.
Yes.
Monthly. And when they get the licensing, it's around 2,800 euros.
Yes. And how long do you need to wait until you
well,
get
they
the license?
get as soon as possible. They
Yes.
try to get it, so it might be weeks, months.
Oh, something like
yet.
this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
What about then the support? Do you offer it like to your staff members? How do you support the team?
Yes, we're hoping to get a mentor for each and everyone who comes here.
Yes.
And of course the team supports the newcomer.
Yes. And then a personal opinion, like what opportunities do you think that Lahti or Päijät-Häme in general offers?
Well, Lahti and Päijät-Häme, of course, offers, well, we have a great nature here,
Yes.
and the living expenses are quite low compared to Helsinki or other countries around us. And, well, our distances are quite short,
Yes.
so it's easy to get around here. And, of course, Helsinki is quite close. It takes only an hour to get there.
Yes. So let's go to take a look at Lahti in images, and let's talk more later.
Yes.
Yes. A warm welcome to TE Live, Maiju.
Thank you.
Can you first start to tell a little bit what you've done before and your career pathway?
Well, it's a long story, but
Yes.
make it short. I've graduated as a registered nurse in the local University of Applied Sciences here in Lahti 17 years ago. And then I went to work on my ward, gastrosurgical ward, and then I worked there about 6 years and then decided to go traveling, as you do. Ended up in Australia, met my now husband, and lived there for 5.5 years, and got my registration there as a registered nurse, became a clinical nurse, and then we decided moved back to Finland to enjoy the amazing healthcare and the social security system here, to make some children and enjoy the child health nurse system and the child care here.
Yeah.
And then I went back to work my old ward, and I'm a assistant nurse unit manager there at the moment, and I'm doing some stomal therapy studies at the moment.
Yes. You actually ran directly from your work, like to this interview.
Yes,
So,
I did.
so can you tell a little bit more? What is your typical day like?
It's very busy. I usually, my normal day is coordinating the ward, so it differs a bit from being a registered nurse on a ward. But to explain what the registered nurse does on our ward, they start their day getting a handover from the night shift, and then they go meet their patients and they take their vital signs, and then comes the ward round, which the surgeons are there for a short period of time, and then the nurses are left to do the nursing care. And during the day, you give a lot of IV medications, do wound dressings, dress some stomas, and everything in between that. And it's a lot of independent work within the nurses, because the surgeons out in theatre doing their operations or on an outpatient clinic. So
Sure.
a lot of critical thinking and decision making with the nurses.
So my next question is like, what do you enjoy the most in your job, which is very versatile?
Yeah. It's very fast paced, so I enjoy the changing situations and the fact that I get to use my brain and make the decisions, and the fact that our surgeons do trust our opinion and listen to us.
So are there any challenges? And if there are, how do you tackle them?
There's lots of challenges every day. There might be crashing systems or very complex patients with lots of medications, new procedures, everything. We usually tackle it as a team. I go to other nurses to get their opinion, or call a different ward to get their opinion or some knowledge. And also we do some research, online research to get the best practice in Finland that's used at the moment.
Yes. What about then your work community? Can you describe it a bit?
My work community is the best. It's very open. We've done a lot of work towards it to make it a positive vibe and positive feeling to everyone enjoy their work, and I hope everyone does as much as I do.
Can you share something fun you've done together as a team or community?
Yeah, last summer I held a little get-together barbecue on my backyard, which my workmates came to, and we got some things in planning, like a Stoma education evening / dinner and Christmas party, and then we're going to go on a cruise.
Wow, sounds nice. What would you like to see then as your new colleague? So who would you like to see?
I like to see a skilled registered nurse.
Yeah.
Who's very outgoing and is not afraid of challenges.
Yeah, I guess you have to be really well paced.
Yeah,
in order to
you got to be really onto it, and
Yes.
you need to stand under a lot of pressure.
Yes. Well, why should one apply right now?
Well, if you want to improve your skills and knowledge as a registered nurse, then you should apply. Also, if you want to enjoy the exotic changing seasons in Finland and have quite a bit of an adventure, I'd say.
Yes, yes. What about then, you are also an employee ambassador. Can you tell more about this?
Yeah, that's my new role, which is doing some social media work. So it's part of my work. I get paid for it, and we do some little videos that are humoristic, also to show how the registered nurses' work in Finland is. And there's also little information slashes that you can check how to take care of your patient and what things mean.
Yes. So people can get a real life example, like how it's done.
Yeah, it's done through humoristic videos, but it also shows my everyday on the ward. There's my days and things that we participated.
Yes.
It's two of my other colleagues and me are
Nice.
updating our Instagram and TikTok.
Great. So thank you so much for this interview, and hope that you will get nice colleagues to work with in the future. Thank you. And next we're going to go to the chat part, so keep sending them in, and when the broadcast has ended, there is still 10 minutes time to answer them. Okay, here we have one question from JQ. What kind of work shifts do nurses have, for example, shift lengths?
So I think Maiju is better to answer this, but approximately 8 hours.
Yes, yes. And we thank for this question, and please do keep sending them still more. But let's then move on to the last part of this interview. So where should the applicants contact right now?
So they could contact the job application through PPI.
Yes, and there is the link in the chat as well. And why should one apply right now?
Well, the application is ongoing right now, and the training program starts in December. So now is the best time to apply.
Sure. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
And thank you that you came along to watch TE Live. And please do give us feedback. We want to know how did we do it today. And remember that you can see this broadcast as the upcoming broadcast on telive.fi. And just wishing you everyone a nice day. And let's watch a video about how we Finns are.
We Finns are pretty happy people, even though we may not smile all the time. The things that make us happy are often very down to earth. Allow us to show you what we mean. We think running in a pool with a belt and walking with sticks are pretty cool ways to exercise. When it comes to food, there's nothing more down to earth than a boiled potato. We eat a lot of them. Like this. We find luxury in relaxing at a cozy waterside cottage surrounded by forest. Our favorite sweets don't come in so many colors. They're just black, and they're not even that sweet. In fact, they're salty. And for us, sitting in a simple heated room is the perfect way to spend time together. But there's more to happiness than eating boiled potatoes and black candy. Our happiness is the sum of many ordinary things, things that are actually quite extraordinary. We get a head start on happiness even before we're born. All parents-to-be get a baby box full of important stuff for their new family. Maternity and child health clinics, part of the public healthcare system, keep us on a track for a happy, healthy life. We're happy that it's safe to send our kids off to school on their own. We trust each other, and we can trust our institutions too. We're known for a high-quality education system. We're happy that education is free all the way through university. Happiness can also be found among the bookshelves. Our many public libraries are popular meeting places, offering not only books, but all kinds of cool services. We love playing games, but we're even happier when we get to invent them. It's the extraordinarily ordinary things that make Finland so happy. And when we smile, we make it count.